All right, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hold on. There we go.
I wish there was a way you can share lives. Can't you do that?
Share who?
Like share the live or whatever.
I am not.
I wish there was a way. All right, I'll figure it out. But let me put the word out here. Let's see. Get some people.
I was actually rewatching most of it. I started watching it from the beginning last night. I was watching the second half just now.
Mm-hmm. So you started. You was watching the whole show.
Yeah, yeah. Surprisingly, it's actually a show that you can watch again and actually pick up on those little pieces that make the ending make even more sense.
Right. Like it is. It is rewatchable. It's more than WandaVision.
Yeah, see, and that's the problem. I wanted WandaVision to be rewatchable, but it's not. It's not. There's nothing that was like, oh my gosh, I definitely saw that coming.
Right.
It's like, oh, I get it now. That's why. No, they have some good Easter eggs, but I mean,
Yeah.
this show has 10 times better Easter eggs.
All right. We'll give it a couple minutes and then get started.
I'm pre-order my Loki Funko. I'm definitely gonna get Loki.
I
I'm gonna get the president one, the president Loki Funko, the one with the pin.
want the alligator, bro.
They do have one, don't they? They should. I know they have that one. They have a Judge Renslayer and Miss Minutes. Uh, they have old Loki. So, but,
Yeah, Richard Grant, he did his thing, but we'll get into that.
yeah. The way that they've been, I mean, I feel bad because the way they made these shows literally was like the way they released them, it just got better as it went. But
Yeah,
that's how I'm grading it. It's just like we had one, thank you for the intro, and then we had Falcon Winter Soldier, and it was like, thank you for that. And then it just gets better as it goes.
right, right.
Besides the what if, oh, well, we still got Armor Wars, don't we?
Yeah, that the Don Cheadle shit. Yeah, I don't care about that.
You don't care about Armor Wars? You don't care about Don Cheadle? No.
I mean, the thing is now you gotta watch. Now you gotta watch all the shows. Because before Kevin Feige was like, "Hey, you don't have to watch the shows, and you can still understand the movies." But that's not. You gotta watch these shows, or you're gonna be fucking lost in the movies, bro. Like, but we're gonna get into that too.
I
Um,
think, yeah, go ahead.
but yeah, but yeah, what if is next in August, and I read on what if is now it is part of Phase 4. So there's some stuff in what if that is going to be in like the multiverse of madness, so it connects. So even that is canon. So
I feel like that's an odd strategy. That's like the way that sounds coming from over here. It's like depending on what if episode really works, they'll take that idea and just run with it later. You know,
right,
but we'll see what's going on. I mean, for the most part, these what if episodes. Looking at the teaser, they look bonkers in a sense of like I don't know how you continue with that, like T'Challa being the Star Lord or
right,
the zombie. I'm really particular about the zombies one. I remember reading that for the comics.
right.
Uh,
All right. So can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get started, man. And get get back on this, bro. I don't know
You
if
are.
I don't know I don't know if I'm gonna edit it or just let it. I don't know. I might do it like WandaVision. I don't know, uh, but all right. So welcome back. Do you feel me? My name's Olin,
And I'm Ryan.
and we're back after a long hiatus. But we're here with our Loki season review, and we're just gonna go through it all. This is spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, come back, watch it. This will be on IGTV, so you can catch it anytime, like a rerun. So just go watch it, come back. We're gonna go in depth and break this down, and give our 2 cents about it. So, Ryan, first of all, how you been, man? It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy for me over here.
Yeah,
Haven't been able to keep up with as many, but I'm certainly glad to actually watch all these shows as they come out.
yeah,
Especially glad I didn't miss this one.
yeah. This is,
So
the funny thing is, I watched the first two. I watched the first two episodes. No, I watched the first episode, and then I took like remember I watched the first episode when we was in the fields, right? I
right.
watched I watched it, and I was like, you know what? And then I kind of just let it go, and then I came back to it, and I watched I think 2, 3, and 4, and then I the last 2 weeks I waited like everybody else, but you know what I mean. I'm glad I went back to it because at first I was like I wasn't really hyped about the first two episodes, but
Mhm.
the first one, it was okay, but I like how they landed. So, but let's go. Let's start how we always start, which is what was your expectations? So, what did you what did you think about this before going into it, and how did it change or meet your expectations?
So the commercial looked very promising in terms of it was definitely a switch up from what we were getting with Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was a much more grounded in reality, spy fiction, call it what you want. But it just Loki was definitely a departure from those kind of stories, and I was just glad to be done with Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I didn't have too high because I felt like the trailer kind of, I mean, it's a trailer, it's meant to be hyped, but I feel like a lot of stuff that they showed in the trailer wasn't actually going to be in the show.
Right.
Disney's done that before. But I definitely was glad to jump on this train after the book Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, I didn't have high expectations for it. For it, like I said, like WandaVision was okay, but it didn't stick the landing to me. Falcon Winter Soldier was great, but it didn't stick the landing for me. So I was like, Loki's never been like one of my favorite characters, but I'll watch it. So but I, as the show went on, I like his character more by the end of this than I did at the beginning. So I would say it exceeded the expectations I had, and it kind of got me excited for the MCU again because I was kind of like, it's over. After the end game is over. What are they gonna do? But now there's a lot of possibilities now, and
Yeah. I was gonna say this show kicks off and even stresses from the very jump, literally the title of the first episode, Glorious Purpose.
mm,
Unlike the last two, and I feel bad because, well, this is a spoiler. So
yes,
the last two, they felt like one-offs.
right,
And so ultimately it felt like they couldn't go where they wanted to go. And where they did go, like you said, it just didn't land.
right,
But this one actually manages to propel the next phase of Marvel and also be entertaining at the same time.
right. Yeah, you can tell that they're gonna make more of these. So it's kind of like the way its pacing is a certain way. Like we got plenty of time. We got as with the other ones, it was like, well, we only got six episodes to do this, and then boom, 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 end. But this one it took its time in a sense, and you actually got there's a lot more character moments that you could spend time with. And I appreciated that. Um, and Loki, man, Tom Hiddleston, man, he's that dude, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know,
definitely did not see this back in what
yeah,
2012.
yeah. He's not. I mean, he's a classical trained actor, but like I think he really gets to sink his teeth in like the Loki character compared
Yeah,
to like all the other stuff I've seen him in. You know what I mean? So, you know, so he really gets to bring it. You know what I mean? It was good, man. But
yeah. This we can move into the first episode. I was gonna say the first episode they did a good job introducing. I mean, I loved the whole tone, the way that they went about this, the whole effect design, the clothes, just the idea that this is not the prior shows you've been watching. This is a whole new thing, and they're moving forward with confidence. And the first episode really allowed us to transition Loki from a side character, side villain to a main character, to somebody you could possibly root for. I mean, Endgame did a good job in seeing that Loki has potential to be a great character. So this confirms it.
right,
Even though it's, for those that watch it, even though we know that it's not the Loki we see in Endgame, it's still Loki to us.
the only thing I didn't like about the first episode, I hear everything you're saying, but Loki did come from 2012, so his mind frame is a certain way, and I feel like his character changed a little too quick for me in the first episode because I just based off 2012 Loki how he was, and it's like you kind of changed. But granted, it's after he just lost. But granted, he just still I felt like it was a little quick as far as wow he's changing, but I can get why he was doing it just because of being in the TVA. His power's not working, and now he's noticing that this power is this the greatest? He says in the first episode, is this the greatest power in the universe or something to that effect?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of humbled him. But I like the first episode's not bad. It's a nice setup. I liked Owen Wilson in it. You know what I mean? And it was a nice little setup. It was very comedic, which caught me off guard. I was like, because I thought this show was going to be more serious, but the first episode was a lot more funnier than I thought it was going to be. So there was a lot of jokes, and even the little Easter egg with the Infinity Stones not working. I thought
Yeah.
I was like, oh, really? So
Somebody use them as paperweights over here.
yeah. So it kind of reminded me like it was like The Office or something, but like in space in a sense of the comedic and him just going through different parts of the TVA and interacting. But I did think it was a good episode. You know what I mean? It was a good setup. You know what I mean? A good setup. You know what I'm saying? So
To be honest with you, if you were how's it going there? If you were following the show from the beginning, we didn't, and to be honest with you, we didn't know it was going to be a season 2, and we didn't. If you were watching it from the jump, you didn't know how long it was going to be. I mean,
right.
6. So honestly, the pacing for this one actually was pretty good. We got the introduction. We got his desensitized. He's desensitized from being the king of New York Avengers. Loki. He's going to move on to be something different. The second one, we meet Sylvie. The third one, we get a better idea of who they are as characters, and then so on. The pacing was pretty good. But then again, we also look at the fact that each episode was actually about 54 minutes long.
Yeah. I was excited to see that when I looked. The first episode was like almost an hour, and you know what I mean. But it has some good moments in it when he's watching his future. He watches his own death. And I was like, this show has got something there. You know what I mean? As far as what I like serious stuff sometimes. I mean, that's the only thing about the MCU is sometimes they'll get too kiddie. but I like it when they kind of
Yeah.
keep it in the middle. And just seeing him looking at his death, I think that kind of started the change as well. But obviously, but we also I think we get the sneak peek of Sylvia at the end of episode 1 before we knew she was a woman. We didn't know what variant of Loki, because there's never been a female
I don't know. Some
variant.
people argue with that one, but
What do you
yeah.
mean? I don't know. I'm saying there wasn't a female variant until she's the only Loki female variant. So they just assumed it was a man at first. But so we get that little mystery. This show does have like some horror thriller elements to it in some of these early episodes. But
like a Marvel Doctor Who vibe going on.
yeah. So what did you think about since we're getting on this Sylvie? What do you think about Sylvie? Sylvia or Sylvie? Sylvie.
It's Sylvie.
Yeah.
Sylvie.
What'd you think about her introduction and her purpose?
Her purpose, her glorious purpose.
Right.
I like the idea of a female Loki. I was fine with it. I felt bad because when I was keeping up with the show, it was kind of ruined before we got to see it. So it was like, oh no, that sounds right. I like how she's definitely a lot more confident than our Loki, just for the quotes. And of course, throughout this show, and that's why the last episode really blows my mind. She sticks to the game plan, and she never changes, which is fun because she's the person that never changes while Loki is changing.
Right.
And
right.
I think the first episode was really great in terms of Loki as a character because throughout all this time, throughout the 10 years, 10 or 20 years of Marvel that we've been getting, we've always seen Loki as a side, the side part. We've never seen him through his perspective. We've always seen him through Thor's, the Avengers, and the Thor movies didn't really. The last. Either way, it was great to see another layer of Loki that we don't see in the movies.
Right.
So throughout this whole series, he's changing slowly. He's realizing the things he has to do, and Sylvie kind of does it, but she doesn't. She still remains the same down to the last episode.
Right.
Which is something that's just great.
Yeah, she stayed who she. At the end of the day, she had a goal, and she achieved it at the end of the series, at the end of this season. But there's going to be obviously consequences for that, and the fact that she wouldn't change is probably going to cost her. Well, it cost everybody. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I have a Disney Plus. I watch it on Disney Plus.
But as far as did you like the romance of Loki falling in love with herself?
See, that's the problem when I was watching. See, like if it wasn't Loki's, if they weren't technically the same person, it would be understanding. But it's because it's Loki and it's just, it's. I was watching and I was like, oh, all right. I mean, it's also kind of funny because the only person he could ever really deeply fall in love with at this point was himself,
right.
Or a female version of himself. It's like a really bad joke.
Yeah, but it is. It's kind of sad. But
I don't know if they want us to take that serious or not. I don't know.
I mean, there was a lot revealed about Loki as far as his love life, but we won't get into that. But
really got to this feminine side of the series.
Yeah, so. But they put it in there. They put in what they felt they had to put in, but whatever.
We can talk about Owen Wilson.
Oh yeah, he was great, man. But I knew he was gonna be great, man. You know what I'm saying? He had these little comedic moments, but he was still he did his thing, man. He knocked it out, man. You know what I'm saying? He was good. That was a good choice. You know what I'm saying? And even the B-15, she was good too.
Right. I wasn't really expecting her to elevate in the show. I just thought she was there for the first and second.
That's because the last time I seen her was in Dawn of Justice as the lady. So I didn't know she could act like that. You know, I didn't know she had like act. You know what I'm saying? She was an act. You know, she's so especially that scene when they were in the mall and she's pretending to be Sylvie. Like she changes her whole damn like she changes her whole character to like. I was like, oh, that's good acting, bro. Like that's good acting. I got so it's like so that was a good get for her. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Owen Wilson was great. All the side characters great. Miss Minutes, I liked Miss Minutes.
That was a fun little.
Yeah, Renslayer. You know what I mean? She was cool. I knew she was hiding something from the beginning. But
Yeah,
yeah, but
I think, and that's interesting. The last episode, rewatching it now, her character is obviously very prominent throughout the series, but it's also they gave her. She's actually now she's more interesting because what happens now? Did she know? I mean, I don't think she knew about He Who Remains, but I do think He Who Remains knew about her.
Yeah,
and it's interesting to see where that's going.
Well, she said at the end of episode 6, I'm going to see free will, and she said earlier in the episode that the only one with free will is He Who Remains. So that's who she's going to see. So she's going to see a variant of him because he's dead. But I think he knew that. That's the thing. I think. See, we getting way ahead of ourselves, but hold on. we're gonna get to episode 6. Hold on, but let's because I'm gonna get
That's
yeah,
fine.
we'll get there.
We can roll to 3.
Yeah. But I like Renslayer. I like that's a good actress. So you're not gonna get an actress like that to just play a minimal character. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say her name. It's like I don't want to mess it up, but
it was a Gugu Mbatha?
Yeah.
I ain't scared.
Yeah. I know it's like it ends in like Raw or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're following Loki. Everyone's telling Owen Wilson, "Hey, don't trust this Loki. Don't trust this Loki." But Owen Wilson feels he can trust him to a certain extent. So they bring Loki on. You know what I mean? In a sense. So they're on the search for Sylvie, and then they get to the mall, which is episode 2.
Right.
And then we find out, oh, it's a female Loki, boom. And then the next episode, Loki follows her, and then we end up on Lamentis, which is episode 3. It looks like where the Soul Stone is, but nice little purple. It was a nice set piece. Like
it was, and it had it had like that nice like lo-fi wallpaper design.
Yeah. It was
sitting there, and the Crocs are just falling. That's a beautiful scene in itself.
Yeah. Like this show is very cinematic in its look, but I think out of all the shows, this is the most cinematic looking one to me. And the second one would probably be Falcon and Winter Soldier, just because of the way they shot it.
I think I was gonna say I think Loki's like Blade Runner pretty, but without the slow those and, the confusion. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, they go Lamentis, and they're Sylvie and Loki are trying to figure each other out. They're trying to and they don't have the TemPad to teleport, so they got to find a way out. So
it's a nice midway episode through the series, seeing as there's 6 episodes. This is a nice midway point. Yeah. This also allows us to see the difference between Loki and Sylvie. This is, motivations, backstory. This gives us a good exposition on, their dynamic.
Yeah, it's a filler episode, but you get character moments, and it's building on both of the characters. You know what I mean? Nothing really. It doesn't advance the story, and it doesn't take away from the story. It's character building, and we're basically watching them build their relationship by the end of this episode. when they try to get off and then they couldn't, man. But that was a nice little scene, just seeing everything crash, and then when it pans up and the little rocket explodes. I'm like, yo, what the?
What happens now?
Yeah, it was shot very well. The episode's okay. I mean, it's a filler episode. Like based off how episode 2 ended, you wouldn't think the whole third episode nothing would happen really. But I mean, that's how with these shows that sometimes happens. You know, I'm willing to forgive it. So then the next episode is
the Nexus event.
Yeah, the Nexus event when they basically falling in love with each other, kind of. Because based on episode 6, you could question maybe she was just doing it to get his guard down. You know what I mean? But I think she does have feelings for her. But
yeah, so another Loki's being Loki's, and then they nix that idea for something deeper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. So, the C-20, the one that Sylvie kidnapped and got into her memories. I forgot to mention this because it's important for how the rest of this season go. Basically, everyone starts finding out like, hey, we're all variants here, or we're not who we thought we were, and then that starts getting implemented into this episode. So this episode, basically, the truth comes out. Episode 4, and now it's like we're all variants, or Renslayer can't be trusted. She prunes Owen Wilson's character. It was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was shocked about that. And then we get to meet the timekeepers in this episode. This is a great episode. This is probably one of the best episodes, episode 4. But we meet the timekeepers, and come to find out they're fake, as I kind of figured they was, but they turned out to be they turned out to be robots. And then we have our little fight, B-15, boom boom. Renslayer's fighting Sylvie. Renslayer can fight too, man. She can fight a little bit.
Yeah, she holds on her own. It's not just a authoritative figure.
Yeah. And then Loki is trying to confess his love to Sylvie. And then he gets pruned. When that happened, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, I was like, "Well, we're gonna follow Sylvie for the rest of the, rest of the."
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. That was suspenseful because I was like, just another Loki's killing Loki's.
Yeah, it was like because Loki gets killed, and then Owen Wilson gets. I was like, "Dang, they took out the top 2 characters in it." I was like, "You still got 2 episodes left." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but then it's revealed at the post-credit scene of this that he got sent to the end of time, the Void, right. And that's where we meet all the other Loki variants, including Old Man Loki, the child Loki who killed Thor. We get the Black Loki.
The Black Loki.
We get that.
That was definitely an exciting moment for me. That was a nice post-credit scene to get us hyped up. So keep our subscriptions alive.
Yeah. So we get to episode 5, and we meet all the Loki variants that's been pruned here and sent. So that we're just going through that, and we're meeting the different Loki variants. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this. Yeah. In this whole. Just a little pan when it pans in the beginning, and it's panning like you're missing. I saw a Yellow Jacket head. I saw It was
in a Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
You also got to see Doctor Strange's headquarters.
Yeah. Sanctum Sanctorum. Yeah.
This gave them that whole scene. It shows you what happens when they do the time bomb in the beginning of the series. You see them do the time bomb where they reset the timeline. And that whole episode in itself shows you where it all goes.
Yeah.
So without getting too
Yeah, the Void is just based it's a time dump.
Yeah, it's a good show and not tell kind of thing. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So, you saw Thanos plane. No, Thanos
The
copter.
Thanos copter, yeah.
All kinds of stuff in there, man. But
Even though that's a comic reference, I just could you imagine seeing, our Endgame Thanos riding in that old 60s
no,
copter.
fuck.
It's hilarious just to think. If somebody can make it on a YouTube video, please send me the link. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, that's the same comic he got arrested at the end too. So
Yeah,
that whole
with regular handcuffs.
yeah, he
So
got put Thanos in handcuffs. Yeah,
we also got to see Frog Thor. So that
yeah,
was funny
yeah,
for what it
yeah. We
was.
saw Throg. That was cool. They said there was a deleted scene where when he got to the void, it was going to have Throg like beating up Loki, but they got rid of it. So we would have seen him in action, but they scrapped it.
That's for time.
So we meet all these Lokis. Obviously, classic Loki is probably the most powerful out of everybody there. I guess this is powerful that Loki can be himself when he gets old, but classic Loki, and we kind of go into backstories on him. We see Alligator Loki, Kid Loki.
Yeah.
So classic Loki is cool because he explained what happened to him, and then I remember when Infinity War came out, it was like Loki's not dead. Loki, that was people were saying that same like, yeah, he projected himself and he went hiding. That was kind of cool that he used that. So and
Yeah, they took that. I mean, a nice little theory, or just a nice little caveat, and they gave that back to the fans. Like, if he did live, this is more than likely what would happen, and that was just good.
right.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So, because I feel like classic Loki timeline is kind of similar to our Loki timeline because Thanos happened pretty much the same way. I don't think he said if Thanos won or not, but you know, but yeah. And then Kid Loki is like, I killed Thor. That was his Nexus event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then boastful Loki was like, yeah, I killed Iron Man and Captain America. I was like, oh, you full of shit. You ain't just
Yeah.
yeah, right. All right. Yeah, right.
Okay, that's why you're here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. But it was a good episode. It was a good episode.
I think, and I mean, right when we get into the point about President Loki and all those odd variant Lokis, that was like the kind of thing.
Yeah, the bike handles. Yeah, that was funny. That was a whole funny scene with President Loki's like, haha, no, that's not quite right. And then everybody turned on him. They're like, yo, who brought the alligator? You know, and the alligator chopped his hand off, and he's like, I was like, that was funny. I can't even front. That was funny.
I think when we saw this scene in the commercial, and I could be alone on this one. I did not expect it to lead up to that scene. I don't know why. If anything, I thought that was going to be saved for like more of a finale.
Right.
But it wasn't. I was a little bit let down, but for the most part, the idea in itself in this episode sets up the last episode.
Right.
You just when you're watching, if you're watching it, you just don't know it.
Right. Yeah. By the time, if you based on what happens in episode 6, like you can kind of figure out where it's heading. But this show, like, this is the first show out of all 3 which, like, it's heading in a certain direction and it actually goes in that direction. Because all the other shows is you feel like it's leading towards a way, and then they do something totally different at the end. But this one actually was like, no, whatever you see, we're putting it there for a purpose, and then it actually turns out to be what it is. I guess that's the only drawback of having source material that's been out for years and years, and then trying to adapt it, because some people be like, oh, I already know where this is going. Trying to keep it you know, fresh and new. But so
I also think they're trying to, I mean, besides borrowing from source material, they're trying to integrate all the good parts because there's nothing wrong with being like a loyalist, you know, or a purist. But you're telling me all the Loki comics, they're just all that, you know, they just, no, there's just certain good highlights, certain good pieces that, you know, when mixed together and fused together, could actually bring in a, you know, a bigger audience.
all right,
Some things are good as just like a nod. What is it?
that's a good question. Is it being predictable a good thing or bad thing? I think it's a good. I think it's good and bad because sometimes a good thing would be some would say it's fan service, but you know, you're staying true to the material that came before, and like we know it's going here and it goes there. It's like boom, because we wanted to see it live action, and then
Yeah.
sometimes being predictable is bad because they didn't take any chances, and it's just like oh, that's like if I make a Spider-Man movie and I show you Uncle Ben like again. I was like I've seen this like 4 times. I don't need
Yeah.
to see it again. You know what I mean? Or
At
like
this point in time, we know
like
what happened.
yeah, like if I make a Batman movie, I'm gonna skip. We don't need to see their parents dying again. Let's skip that shit. I don't need to see it again. But like in this case, where this season's going, I mean, a lot of people was predicting it, but by the end of the episode 5, we got Sylvie is going to enchant Elias.
Yeah.
And so they do that, and then they get inside of Elias, and we see the castle. So at this moment, where did you think? Who did you think was going to be in the castle before we find out who's actually in there?
Yeah, I think we I think we talked about this as we both caught up with each other this past weekend.
Yeah.
I just the thing is we didn't know that Loki was going to be bigger. Like based on what we were watching before, all these Marvel specials they gave us, they're one-offs. We didn't see them as seasons. So I didn't want to get too excited, and we joked about it. I was like, it's just going to be another Loki. It's just going to be the Loki after the Loki because that's just what they've been doing up to this point. The last time I got excited was I think was it WandaVision when they said I know a guy and then we turn out it's just the Air Force.
Yeah,
that's what I thought was going to happen. Where it's like, could it be Kang? Could it be Doctor Strange? Could it be somebody that actually has, you know, a future, so to speak?
Right.
And then I was like, I better not because last time I did this, it was just the Air Force.
Yeah. It's like that was my same feeling. I was like, it's probably going to be another Loki variant. I mean, they showed a King Loki in the trailer, but he never shows up in the show at all. So I was like, maybe it's going to be, maybe it would have been, we both thought it was going to be a Loki variant. So we get into episode 6. They're in the Citadel, is what it's called. And I have a joke about that, but I'm not going to say it right here. But, you know, all bad things happen at the Citadel. But yeah, so they're in the Citadel. They run into Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes tries to convince them to take an offer. He was like, Loki, I know what you want. You want to be a ruler. And then Sylvie, I know you want happy memories. So she's trying to bribe him. And then it's like and then they basically get and then the elevator comes up and then boom, we got Kang there.
We got what we always wanted.
Yeah, so all the Easter eggs in the show up to this point was pointing to Kang. Even the character Renslayer was pointing to Kang. A lot of and they actually did what they been setting up. So Kang comes out, played by Jonathan Majors from Lovecraft Country, and we get a lot of exposition, but it's useful exposition and it's explaining things. Meanwhile, while that's going on, we find out who Renslayer was, I guess, before she became before she became
Yeah. Before she became the judge.
yeah. So she was a principal, and then, or maybe that could have been just another front. Who knows? But just based off comic knowledge. But
I
so
think that was. You know what? We'll do that. We'll do that later. We'll do that
yeah,
later.
yeah. But yeah, so we figured that out. So both of these things are happening at once. But most of this episode is the Loki's talking to Kang, and Kang goes into his origin, how he was created, how the multiverse is created, and
Yeah.
and then
Does it like Man of Steel style? But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and so we get that, and it was good. I was with it the whole time. I was with his quirky performance because I get
Yeah.
that it's not the actual Kang the Conqueror. It's a version of Kang. A lot of people are saying it was Immortus King, just based off the emblem that was on his little cloak. That's
Yeah.
whatever. But
This was like the equivalent to like the architects in the Matrix.
yeah,
Basically. I mean, that's
yes,
exactly what it
yeah,
was.
that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. So, but he explains that because of what he did when he defeated after the multiversal war of all the Kangs, that it was able to keep like the timeline in check. So basically, with all this, well, first, what did you think about Kang? What do you think about his performance? Are you happy that they added him in the end of the show? Do you think it's going to confuse people that don't know who he is, or do you think they did a good job of introducing Kang now before you see him in like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which doesn't come out for like 2 years, I think.
Damn it.
Yeah.
No, I think this is interesting because this episode is pivotal, not just in the sense of the show, but in the sense of what Marvel plans on doing for the future. And I think it's great because I think I'm not going to say this is going to be I think Jonathan Majors acting in this is going to be very relaxed compared to the acting he's going to have to do and then going forward. This is a great introduction. And I hate to say that you'd have to watch this show in order to understand what's going to happen after, but this is a better way of introducing a character versus later on in the future where we're going to have to get like this backstory flashback thing that it's switching it up from doing what they did with Thanos.
Right.
When we get into the big event, the grand event of this next phase, we don't have to do that because they did that in this episode.
Right. This episode is the Thanos 2012 look at the camera. But in this one, we actually get to spend time with the actor, the character, so we kind of know what to expect. But obviously, this is going to be Kang is their new Thanos. So he's going to be popping up every so often. We know he's going to be in Quantumania, but you never know. He might be in Doctor Strange. We don't know. But so he's the next big bad, and I think, Kang is a bigger threat than Thanos. So I want everyone to know that.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's a way bigger, way bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Present in any almost hero comic. So,
and based on what he was saying, he was like, even if you kill one king, another one's going to come up. So they're not going to be fighting just one. It looks like they're going to fight every one, and until they get to the last one, which I think is what's going to happen. So
go ahead.
Yeah, unless King the Conqueror kills the other kings himself. I don't know, but I don't want to get into we'll get into speculation later. But as far as this episode, I like what he did, but he gives Loki and Sylvie an option. He was like, "I'm tired. I'm old. I've been doing this forever. Like, I want you guys to take over the TVA for me. You can do that, or Sylvie, you can kill me and make things worse, and I just come back anyway. Reincarnation, as he says. But this time, it won't be the happy, jovial me. It's probably going to be someone a lot more evil than I am. So they're left with that. Um, there's some. I watched the episode again. There's a lot of things he says that I like when he's like, "Hey, we're all villains here." You know what I'm saying? I like
Yeah.
that line. I really like that line because even though he's all happy, he seems a little unpredictable, right? Like even the point when he was like, I took a life. I defeated the like. He got a little serious then. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's not.
Yeah.
I don't think he's happy all the time, but I think he's happy now. But I, even though he said he didn't know that what was going to happen, something just his actions made me think he kind of still knew that what was going to happen. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I think, well, and it's funny too, because for those that have watched it, it's fun to watch this episode, and of course, this is the series finale. And then it's fun to actually go back and rewatch it. I actually rewatched it from 1 to 6 again, and it's interesting because if you watch the first episode, I believe the speech that Loki gives to Mobius is very key to why he gets to where he gets in episode 6. See, I believe that Kang the Conqueror was looking for a replacement.
Right.
And obviously he saw Loki. Why? Because Loki was Loki, in a sense, was Kang. Mm-hmm. He kept time. There was so many variants of him that it got to the point where Kang was trying to isolate the variant that could take over. He just wasn't expecting it to be two Loki.
Right.
And you can see that in the first episode. Loki talks about he doesn't like doing what he did in New York. He didn't like, hurting people and stuff, but he did it because he believed that's what had to be done. And that's the kind of mindset that Kang was looking for as a replacement. Kang probably didn't like doing, the pruning that he had to prune, but if it meant it was going to be for the glorious purpose, then Loki would be the top candidate because Loki is, he just doesn't give up. He just keeps going. If he wants the throne, then he can have the throne of time and rule how he wants to rule, as long as it meant keeping the, timeline in check.
Right. That's an interesting point. I didn't think of it like that. But yeah, that is a good point. Do you think Sylvie's Nexus event was to kill King, and that's maybe why they grabbed her as a kid? Because if Kang knows that this is the one that's going to kill me, in a sense, if everything would have went right, Sylvie would have never knew she was a variant. She would have went along with it. She would have been working for the TVA by then, and she would have never tried to kill King. Do you think that her Nexus event was to kill King, and that's why they took her?
I do think that that little hypothesis, that would be something to explore in the next season. But I think, and I mean, he says it. He has the Loki that, the Loki that doesn't trust and the Loki that can't be trusted. And I believe in a very small way, and this is interesting because it would give the character a lot more depth. I think he was doing an experiment. Okay, we have the one, who's better to rule? The one that's had it rough from the jump, or the one that's, had it rough to a certain point and he decides to change? You know what I'm saying? And, I don't even think he was expecting both of them to actually get to the top. He wasn't expecting them to even work together. It was just, he knew that Loki was the replacement. He was the prime candidate. The question was, which one would it be? But he wasn't expecting Loki's, because of their behavior, to actually work together and get up to that point.
Well, that's why it was a Nexus event in the first place of them.
Exactly, yeah. Because
they both wasn't supposed to be where they ended up. You know what I mean? It's just they ended up working together. Now, if Sylvie's intentions were the same as Loki's, you could probably question that, because she still ended up doing what she felt she had to do. And I don't think she ever changed at all. And maybe I think she knew Loki had feelings for her and kind of used that against him at the end. So they had to. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe, I mean, and this is just me just kind of, throwing stuff out there. I believe that was also who would make a better ruler in terms of the psychology of being ruler, a dictator or, a ruler of time. Which one would be more stern about the flow of time? Would it be Sylvie, who has had bad things happen to her, doesn't ever want that to happen to anyone again? Or would it be Loki, somebody who, has seen what happens and is kind of more turning toward the good side?
That's the thing. Sylvie would have been a terrible ruler, bro. She's been messing up the timeline the whole show.
Right.
So she would be terrible. Now, Loki, after hearing what Kang said, he was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Because at first, I mean, his whole purpose in the beginning of the show was like, hey, I want to find out who's over the TVA and take their place and take over. Not knowing, but his intentions to do it in the beginning is different than his intentions at the end. He's willing to do it at the end so nothing fucks up. But in the beginning of the show, he just wanted to do it so he could be in charge of this great power, so to speak. But but go ahead.
No. What I was going to say is the reason why our Loki is, we can just call him Loki. The reason why I think Loki is definitely considering it more than Sylvie is because Loki served under Thanos, and he knew at the time Thanos was superior to him.
Right.
So when he says somebody bigger and badder is going to come, I think in Loki's mind, it's like, well, I couldn't defeat the Mad Titan at that time. What if somebody bigger than, he provides a good point because I'm used to serving under somebody who overpowers me. And if I take care of that, there's always a bigger fish, in short. Right. Bigger fish. Yeah. Sylvie's never had that.
Yeah, she doesn't. He does say, like, he tells her, stop acting childish. And I felt like that was a good point because she was taken as a kid. She kind of grew up on her own. She's never been held accountable for anything.
Yeah.
So she is kind of acting childish in this moment. And I think she wasn't able to see, like, past her own feelings and thinking about the greater good. I don't think she really cares about the greater good until after she stabbed Kang. There's a look on her face like, oh shit, maybe he was telling the truth. So they have this fight, and Loki's trying to convince Sylvie, don't do this. Maybe we should listen. So they kiss.
They did that. They had to, I guess, because we were all like, "Do we do this or what?" But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So they kiss, and then the typical kiss, and she turns him around, and then kicks him into the portal, and then she turns around and kills Kang anyway. So Kang's dying, and he's like, "See you soon." He winks. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And at that moment, this moment right here is going to change the MCU probably for the next 5 years.
Yeah, another 5 to 10.
I mean, this could change the MCU forever now, because now that she killed this Kang was the one keeping the timelines from going all crazy. He's dead. Now we have our multiverse officially in this episode. So Loki gets sent back to the TVA, but it's a TVA either in a different timeline.
Yeah, it's not the same. And
come to find out, Owen Wilson doesn't know him. Mobius like, who are you?
It hurt. That shit hurt.
Yeah. So it was like, what department are you in? You know what I'm saying? And then it pans. He looks up. Loki has that look on his face, and we see the Conqueror King in his accurate comic uniform, and it's like, oh shit, oh, we're here. It's already changed. So
yeah, I was gonna say I can't remember which episode, and it was one of those things I was like, why did they? There's a prior episode, obviously, and there's an episode where they show a very establishing shot of the Timekeeper statue, and I was it was one of those things that stuck with me that I was like, what is this Blade Runner nonsense?
Right. Yeah.
And it makes sense now at the end because it's not the same statue, which
Right.
shows you it's not the same timeline.
Right. Yeah. So I think that was genius. You know what I'm saying? And we have our multiverse, man. So this changes everything.
Yeah.
Going
It's
forward.
very exciting.
Yeah. And I think this episode puts this as the best series so far for me, just because they stuck the landing for me. I don't care about all the other episodes. Like WandaVision, the last episode wipes away the first 7. Like, it makes them all irrelevant. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it retcons the early parts of the show. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was great. It's just I didn't like the last episode. It starts off weird. I don't like his speech at the end. There's just a lot in there I have a problem with. It didn't stick the landing. Now there was, a couple episodes. It was kind of like this, but but it stuck the landing. You know what I'm saying? Like the landing, like, boom. You know what I'm saying? You get like, if WandaVision would have had Doctor Strange in the last episode, I think that would have been perfect. It would have made sense. They didn't go what made sense. They tried to be different. Yeah, like why? Why?
They nexus themselves.
That's why. Back to what old boy has said about predictability and good and bad. Like the predictable thing, yeah, it would have been to put Doctor Strange in WandaVision, but it would have been good. But not doing it makes it bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, why? Why didn't you do that? But in this one, it's like in this one, it's like we know Kang's coming, everything's pointing to Kang, and we get Kang, and it's like, oh, this is great, and then boom, and now it's got everybody online talking about all the possibilities of this multiverse now, and I think that's what Marvel wanted coming out of this episode, and I think they got it. Because now everybody's like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Spider-Man. I can't wait to see Doctor Strange. I can't wait to see, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So so before we get into the repercussions or the future of the MCU, where we think this is going from this episode, let's go ahead and let's give your overall feelings of this season and your grade, and then I'll do me, and then we'll move on to where we think the future is going. So.
I'm gonna say, this what's really bad about this is that, like we mentioned earlier, I don't know if we were recording when we said this, but they up the ante with every single Marvel movie they come out with. In terms of WandaVision I already said WandaVision was good, but nothing to put on their fridge. Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm gonna give it a strong B. I don't know if we talked about that, but I gave it a strong B in terms of it was going good, and then it did the thing. We all know we did the thing, and it didn't stick the landing. This is actually an A, and I'm not gonna give it a minus or a plus. I'm just gonna give it an A simply because it did. What I liked about this show was that it told a story. I hate to say this, but WandaVision did that. I wasn't a fan of the fact that at the end of it, like you said, it kind of retcons because it was kind of like all in her head and everything seemed kind of consequentless.
Right.
Falcon Winter Soldier was good, but then it got meta, and then it did the thing at the end where I was like, oh, wow. Felt like a PSA at that point.
Yeah, like make America great again.
Make America great again.
That's basically that's what he said. You know what I mean?
And I mean, this show, it delves in a lot of topics, not like the last two didn't, but it delves in a lot of topics, but it doesn't let those topics get in the way of telling the story.
Right.
So I give it a very strong A, and I hope to give it an A plus going into the future.
Right. All right. So I'll give this I'll give it an A. And I know because I call everything trash, but
yeah,
I'm gonna give this an A, and just based I like that they stuck the landing, and I enjoyed the ride enough to where the ride was good enough to where however they ended it is how I'm gonna feel about the show. So the ending made it rewatchable for me, and
Right.
now it feels like something I would rewatch. Um, and it was great. I enjoyed it. So, and I like the fact that um I like the ending. I like the characters. I like the acting. It looks good. But and Kang showing up meant a lot. How me liking this series. So it was it was it was that was what I needed right there, and that pushed it to the top for me, man. So I give it an A, and I can't believe I'm saying this. As far as the Falcon Winter Soldier, since we didn't talk about it, I give that a B. That's just because like that last episode, man. Damn, man. But yeah.
We should have did a review for that.
Yeah, we should have, man. Damn.
Show the whole drinking game.
Yeah. But Loki's great. I think this is the best show. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people still think WandaVision is better than this, but I don't get it. But
I would like to hear why. But go ahead.
It's because that's just like WandaVision, because somebody was like, "Oh, WandaVision got 23 Emmy nominations." That should tell you it's better. No, that's not why it got. It's not because it's good. It's because of the filmmaking choice they made.
I was gonna say it's beautiful garbage. You know what I mean?
That's all it is. The story is terrible.
We talked about this because I remember we were reviewing it and you were like, "So what do you think and you were like, "This guy's reaching."
Yeah,
I remember that. I was like, "Well, the wardrobe choices, the set design," and you were like, "You're reaching, bro."
Yeah.
That's how I want it. And not saying WandaVision's it's just not my favorite, but it's also I think it's the weakest one out of 3. Mm-hmm. Very good. We respect it because it was the first movie we got from Marvel, but you know, oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, but Falcon and Winter Soldier was like, damn, this is like Winter Soldier. Dog, I'm feeling this. And then the last episode, man, gosh, man, they killed the girl. I don't know why they killed the villain so fast. They could have moved.
It went from Captain America segue to Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, it just, and then his speech at the end, which was like, first of all, you're the wrong person to make this speech. You shouldn't be making this speech. You look crazy making this speech. If you made this speech where I'm from, they tell you sit the fuck down. You look stupid. You look stupid making that speech. Just because you're wearing red, white, and blue, you don't need to make that speech, bro. But anyways, so that kind of ruined. And then the Sharon Carter reveal. Okay, whatever. But that last episode's terrible, bro.
We gotta make that a whole separate thing, just because we'll do that later.
Matter of fact, we could talk about that when we talk Black Widow, because there's some things that in a Black Widow that tie into Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I'm not going to spoil it because I don't think you've seen the rest yet.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so I'll wait until you've watched the rest and then we'll talk about that. But back to Loki. You gave it a B. No, you gave it an A. I gave it an A. So we both like it. Now, let's talk about, thumbs up. Now, let's talk about where we think where we think this is headed. Now, Kang's here, the multiverse is here. I just saw that Deadpool little teaser with Cord. You seen that?
That was funny. That was
So Deadpool's coming. There's so many possibilities now. Like this Spider-Man movie is gonna be crazy. I think this Doctor Strange movie is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I think this is their way to bring in like X-Men, Fantastic Four, other versions of characters that may have died, or you can replace actors now.
Yeah.
Like you can have another Iron Man, you can have another Captain America. You can do a lot of things that you want to do now. So the future for the MCU is, I don't know how they're gonna pull it off, but I'm
Mhm.
interested to see how they pull it off.
I mean, I think honestly, what Marvel Studios is doing with their movies is they are basically rewriting the rules that allows their movies to be ultimately timeless.
Right,
And it's wild. And what they did, and what I enjoy is what they did was they allowed their movies to be seamless. For example, because of this episode that allows them to propel to do the multiverse thing, we can understand why there's like 5 different Captain Americas. Like growing up, like when we, and even if you follow behind the scenes, like I said, it takes care of all that because we like Batman, Spider-Man. We could use Spider-Man just to keep it in context with Marvel. We have 3 different Spider-Mans,
right.
and that's confusing, but it also allows these 3 different Spider-Mans not only to coexist in the same frame, but just allows us to accept them, that it's not like, they can be everybody's Spider-Man now. In terms of, what I mean? The audience can really, it's really nice because we do it with Batman and stuff, but I hope they do this with Spider-Man, but it's like, yeah, when you go take your kids to the theater, or just when you go as a group to the theater, you can be like, that's my Spider-Man. That's the one I grew up with. And I'm sure in the movie they'll show like contrast and dynamics, but it just allows them to become acceptable. And then it also allows them to expand on a character that also allows that character at the same time to keep up with the times. Because that's what ultimately happens. That's why we have 3 Spider-Mans. Each Spider-Man is different. Each Spider-Man adapts to the time that they came out in. And it's nice. Doctor Who does it all the time when he meets former versions of himself. But it's nice that we can see that in a cinematic approach.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. I know. So you're coming around to finally there's gonna be all 3 Spider-Mans in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
You still, you got to see it first. Okay. All right. But it's going to happen, bro. If it doesn't happen, they're going to piss off everybody. Because everybody believes that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's in this movie. But, hey, we'll see. But, yeah, but the Spider-Man movie is going to be crazy. I mean, they already hinted at it when they had J. Jonah Jameson at the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So the multiverse has already been started. That's why I'm saying I'm interested to know the timeline of all this stuff, because obviously Spider-Man Far From Home takes off after Endgame, WandaVision's after Endgame, right after. So they're kind of happening at the same time. Falcon and Winter Soldier's obviously after Endgame.
Yeah.
But I don't know when this Loki takes place, because it starts with him getting taken during well, I guess it happens during Endgame, because he gets taken when they go back to get the Tesseract.
Right.
So I would assume that Endgame is still happening while this show is happening. So
it is Avengers Assembles Loki
yeah,
taking place during an Endgame
yeah. So
situation.
So I'm assuming by the time Kang is killed at the end, either Endgame is just Avengers Assemble. They probably just defeated Thanos. I'm guessing.
Right. Well, that's what Judge Renslayer said. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, and then by Captain America going back and destroying the stones, they avoided the TVA. That's how they avoided the TVA. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Right. So this is in real time. So by the time we're watching WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, I believe Kang's already dead. I believe the multiverse is already there, because obviously at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, you see J. Jonah Jameson. And it was like, huh? Where did this come from? Because remember at the end of that movie, it kind of just changed like out of the blue. You noticed that, right? At the end of Far From Home, right? Like after he defeats Mysterio, it kind of just
I think
changed.
I think he and this would be wonderful if they did it. I don't know. This is just me shooting stuff out. I think at the end, because there was that little gap, there was that small pause after the end of the movie, and then it goes to that scene with J. Jonah Jameson. I think without even knowing it, he jumped into a different multiverse. Like he was just the Nexus kind of messed up. It just merged. It's
Yeah,
like Marvel movie. They're merged, and he was in the the Tobey Maguire universe where we have this guy as J. Jonah Jameson.
yeah. So,
It was quick, but I think that's what happened because everybody's slightly confused.
what I'm,
I was.
what I'm saying though is like, so Far From Home's already told us where the next Spider-Man movie's going. They just didn't tell you. But like everybody, oh, J. Jonah Jameson, but just based off what you're saying in the multiverse, he's in Tobey Maguire's universe. So they pretty much told us where this third movie's going to be. I mean,
I mean, I don't know if that was just a fun cameo and they were just wrapping things up, but it would be a nice.
but I'm saying, if you look at the cast of Spider-Man, what's this new one called? No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Jamie Foxx is in it. Jamie Foxx Electro, and
Alfred Molina's
Doc Ock from Tobey Maguire. So they got two villains from two different Spider-Man verses.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's clear as day. It's clear as day. Just come to my side. Just come to my side and just say, yeah, there's gonna be 3 Spider-Mans in this movie, and Doctor Strange, because Kevin Feige already said this was he said it was a 3-movie arc. He said WandaVision. He said WandaVision, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. It's all one arc, so they all go together. So, so I don't know if Ant-Man's going to be part of it or not, but like I don't see them defeating Kang anytime soon, like the real Kang.
I don't either.
I would think he would get an Avengers movie at some point down the road.
Is he the main antagonist rumored for Ant-Man 3, or he's just there?
They just said he's there. I don't know if he's the main villain or not. But I also told you that Yellow Jacket's going to be back in Ant-Man 3 too. So there's going to be some time elements. And I looked at the cast. There's two actresses playing his daughter. So there's going to be some time elements there. I was watching a YouTuber, and he was like, they think the TVA is in the quantum realm.
It's a very strong possibility, actually, because based on Ant-Man 2, the quantum realm hasn't been fully explored, but it has been hinted at a lot of things. So, yeah.
Because they showed a clip from Ant-Man 2 that there's a little city in the quantum realm. They showed. I watched this video, and they show when the Ant-Man and the Wasp are coming out of the quantum realm at the end. They show they pan. You can see a little city down there, and some people saying that looks just like the TVA city, and that maybe the TVA is in the quantum realm. That's why when you're at the TVA, you have no powers. The stones don't work because it's in an in-between space of time, and it doesn't work. Which is what
I love that theory.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Which would make sense that maybe Quantum Mania, but Kang has the ability to go in and out of the quantum realm like that with his little TemPad things. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is weird because you still there. Which is weird because the TemPad that he has compared to what Ant-Man uses to get in and out of the quantum realm, the quantum realm, is kind of crazy as far as power level. Oh. Let's see if he comes back. A little technical difficulty. If anybody's still watching, what did y'all think about the show so far? Did y'all like it? So, Yeah, I'm looking forward to the future, man. It's gonna be great. So we'll give it about 5 more minutes, see if he comes back on. Yeah, man. Yeah, Loki, man, it was a good episode. Well, good episode 6, but a good season. Um, good, good, good.
Oh, hold on a second.
All right.
Yeah, that was my slip of the charger. Sorry.
But yeah, I was saying, Kang's ability to go in and out of the quantum realm, if he's in the quantum realm, with just a little TemPad, compared to how Ant-Man and all them got to go in with this big, big machine. That's crazy. But I don't know. We'll find that out in Quantum Man, because that's just a speculation. I don't know if the TVA in the quantum realm or not. But yeah, man, the future. Like, we was having this conversation, like, you could have Hugh Jackman, Wolverine show up. You could have Johnny Storm show up, but the Chris Evans version. I mean, you can. I mean, because
this allows past characters to cameo their performances without requiring like a strong, long contractual commitment. It's just like, hey, I wouldn't mind if Hugh Jackman wants to come in as Wolverine. We would love to see him, and he can do it just for a little bit, without filming.
Yeah, come in this one movie, come in this scene, boom. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Be tight. It'd be tight. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you could have Michael B. Jordan come in as Johnny Storm. Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna avoid that movie. Yeah. Fan Forstic. You know what I'm saying? God.
Yeah. They just actually released an article saying that they're trying to make the rules for the multiverse.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, because everybody's gonna be like, oh, well, you can do this, do that. You know what I mean, this is my thing. I was telling you, once Disney bought Fox and they got all the rights to basically all their characters, except, you knew something like the multiverse was coming, bro. Like, that's the only way you could bring in those characters and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So
this is an underlying agenda that Disney is going to buy out everything, so they can do that now. But yeah, go ahead.
I know they wish they could buy Sony back, so they ain't got to deal with like Amy Pascal and all them people and trying to got to fight to get Spider-Man in a movie every time a movie comes out. It's like, oh, this is the last time. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely Spider-Man and Venom right now seem to be the bargaining chip with some. So.
It's just the commercial success of Venom. The only reason they tried to strong arm Marvel, like, but Venom's a bad movie. It just made a lot of money. Venom's bad. It's terrible. It is. It is. Everybody knows this.
We were all there to watch that.
Yeah, we all, the whole battalion went there. Oh, damn near. Yeah. We all saw that, and everybody argued about that outside for about 2 hours. Like, it was good. I was like, it was bad. No, it was terrible. No, it was terrible.
There was a lot of room for improvement. How about that?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what it was, honestly, and it still is. It's just that it was the first movie, and we knew that if we didn't support that one, because I think Tom Hardy as Venom is actually good. It's just
he was
around it was like that the romance between him and Michelle Williams was a little faltered. The villain just being, the villain was very Iron Man 2-ish. Like, I don't know Venom that much, but it was like a Venom fights another Venom. That's what Iron Man 2 did, where it was like Who does Iron Man? Well, Iron Man 1 did that, but it was like,
That's the sequel. He fights Carnage. So
I guess it is Iron Man 2 all over again. I think the whole, and I'm not a, because I don't read the Venom comics. I heard they're actually very good, but I think that that's a problem going in is that unless you read the comics, you're really hoping Spider-Man is going to swing in and be the dynamic between the two, since they've always been introduced, you know, as villains themselves. And now it's like, wait, so Venom's the hero and Carnage is villain? Even though if you even watch the old Spider-Man 90s cartoon, they show you the difference between Venom and Carnage. But to the audience that is just jumping into this, it's kind of like, aren't they the same person?
yeah, I never like. I don't know. But
Ooh,
I mean, I would assume eventually Venom and Spider-Man would meet, but it's just it's got to be done naturally. But I don't know because remember Michael Keaton's in Morbius. So
yeah.
what character is he playing? Like, is he playing? You know, like
That's the multiverse intertwines once again.
Yeah.
It bleeds over.
Yeah. So
maybe.
I don't know, but well, I guess we'll find all that. The Spider-Man part is the most interesting because they got so many. Sony's doing their own thing, but at the same time, Spider-Man is in the MCU. So, but everything else, you know what I mean. So, Doctor Strange, I don't even know where to start with that. Like, I don't know how that's gonna be, but this very it makes I kind of feel bad for the Ten Rings movie because that's gonna feel nobody's gonna want to watch it now after seeing this Loki. It's like, dog, can we skip this? Let's just get Spider-Man. Like, let's skip the Eternals. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, Shang-Chi is doomed on its release. I don't know. I think what they were thinking was that I mean, it still could be to some people. I think it's a good switch up because honestly, sometimes when you're watching shows like Loki and WandaVision, where it's like it's all this phantasmical stuff and all these, space, meteors, aliens, timekeepers, sometimes it could be a little bit overwhelming. So they just take a step back, get you grounded a little bit. And I feel like they did that with Falcon Winter Soldier. After WandaVision, after all this phantasmical, magical, mumbo jumbo, all this crazy Harry Potter stuff happening, they took a step back and gave you Falcon and Winter Soldier, something that's a little bit more grounded, more reality based. And then they threw you into Loki because you were so used to, guns and government and, anti-heroes and all that. So then they threw you into Loki, which takes you right back to that. They threw a little more sci-fi with Loki, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So now we got Shang-Chi, which is, like I said, it's a step back. It gets you grounded. I know that Shang-Chi has some mystical elements to it with the dragon and, the Ten Rings. We'll see what that's all about. But that's what it is. They're just kind of, it's odd pacing for this phase, but with each time they just keep going harder and harder in the paint to the point where we're like,
I watched the Kevin Feige interview,
right?
And he spoke about that was Wong fighting Abomination, in it. So I don't know if he said it or I think this movie takes place during. Some of it takes place during the blip, while people have left. So I think that's where this goes. So maybe this is Wong. Wong's fighting Abomination because he has nothing to do. Like, he needs to make money, so he's fighting for money. Right. You know what I mean? So
he lost Doctor Strange during the blip.
Yeah. So I think that's what happened. And then Abomination probably General. I mean, well, it's not General Ross now, but Secretary Ross. He probably got disappeared, or people that was guarding the what's that shit in the ocean called? What's the prison in
the prison. I can't remember it. It wasn't.
Yeah, but that's where Abomination was. So obviously he escaped. The
blip is obviously an event that really could be further explored because they did it a little bit in WandaVision and then they mentioned it in Spider-Man 2. So it's definitely something that could be explored.
Yeah, I would love to see it from the other way, from the people that didn't come, but like the heroes that wasn't involved in Avengers or villains that was able to like, oh, they're a lot of the heroes are gone, so we could just do whatever the fuck we want. You know what I mean? Like from that aspect. So, but Eternals, I don't think that movie's gonna be good at all, man. I don't know, man. I just
I, uh, I'm just going off of the commercial. It's not that interesting to
no,
me.
no.
But I think I want to say that's a little bit more intentional that they don't want to give everything to you. But the sad part is I don't have any interest for it. So
All Kevin Feige said it's a movie that it discusses like humanity and
oh Lord,
where we come from. So,
they're doing the thing.
yeah, I was like, oh god, this
Doing the thing.
it's gonna be like some meta, like I don't know, man. They're gonna try to beat, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be like Cloud Atlas. That's a good point. It's gonna be some like drama filled, like, oh, I don't know, but hey, we'll see what happens. But because I was looking, they got like 4 more movies dropping this year. Like 3. Got you got no, you got Eternals, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man.
That's that. They're really bouncing around with the genres there.
And then next year is like 5, bro. Bro, you got Doctor Strange. Hold on, I gotta look at it again.
Doctor Strange, Ant-Man 3.
No, Ant-Man 3 is 23.
Sheesh. So one movie I can be excited about, which is odd.
Yeah.
About later. It'll be the Shang-Chi of 23.
Okay, so next year is Thor. Thor comes out next year.
Okay.
Doctor Strange comes out next year.
Uh-huh.
Wakanda Forever comes out next year. And The Marvels comes out next year.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were excited about that one. I remember. Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember you were like, yeah, they gotta have the Marvels. Brie Larson, it's your favorite. I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it gonna be Kamala Khan in this, or I don't know. I don't know. I'm not.
Well, I had mentioned that, and you said that was a show.
Yeah,
so I was like,
yeah,
oh,
they're doing a Miss Marvel show. Yeah.
Maybe it's like they'll do the show and then she'll be in the movie, and
I guess.
that'd be something.
Yeah, Kamala Khan is in it. That's Miss Marvel. But she's getting a show too, I believe.
I can see that though. Like you get a good introduction move, and then you just go. I feel like it's like that for a lot of these heroes, where it's you can give them a big introductory movie, and then they're because their level of adventure is very small, or it's just not in keen to a whole movie. You can just do. I wouldn't mind episodic versions of some of these heroes. So
yeah, Miss Marvel, the show comes out this year, and then she'll come out in the movie next year. So
that'd be cool.
So that's another reason why I don't like WandaVision, man. They setting up fucking Captain Marvel movie in WandaVision. Mm-hmm. They said, with old girl, what's her name? Monica Rambeau. What's her name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
They set her up, and then they set up Skrulls at the end. And then I was like, this has nothing to do with WandaVision, bro. Maybe it does. I don't know. But
it's just magic.
It's like they just put that shit in there, but like, whatever, bro. All right, but
movie magic.
Yeah, but but yeah, but they haven't scheduled they haven't mentioned no type of Avengers movie, so I think it's gonna be a while before we get like an Avengers movie, because I don't think they know who's gonna lead. Yeah,
it's still a little bit too soon to talk about doing an Avengers movie. They really haven't even established Kang. Well, they just now introduced Kang, who is scheduled to be the next big bad. So it's like we're still kind of reeling over Robert Downey Jr. Like people are. I read that people are even upset that the original voices aren't going to be in the What If series. I didn't even expect them to be in the What If series, but people really.
They are the original voices. Everybody's doing their own voice.
I saw that Chris Evans wasn't going to do it.
Well, not him, but everybody else.
So
Like, I mean,
I don't understand.
so Chris Evans is done after after the end game. He's like, I'm done. I'm not doing no more this shit.
He is Captain America.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he did it for 10 years.
yeah, he's done. He did his time, bro. He did his time.
It's not like, I mean, it's not like Michael Keaton who did 2 movies,
Right.
and then didn't come back. We know the story behind that, but
Yeah.
it's not like Michael Keaton who did 2 movies as Batman, then he's like, I don't want to be Batman anymore.
Yeah.
He actually still does, which is why we'll see it later. But that's DC.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done. I'm done. I did my time. I'm gone, bro. Like, just like Sony's. I could see Robert Downey coming back. Like he'd be like, he could be like a Jarvis in another timeline. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They mentioned that he would be like it's hologram Tony.
Yeah. Because I think they're gonna do the female Iron Man, the black girl one. I think that's
yeah.
I think rumor.
Ironheart.
Yeah, Ironheart, something like that.
These actors, they did it for 10 years. And could you imagine some of the movies were back to back?
Yeah.
It's 10 years of playing the same character, like holy crap. That's what happened. That's why happened with Hugh Jackman.
Well, even Chris Hemsworth, he's played it for that long. But the thing about Chris Hemsworth is nobody liked his movies until Thor Ragnarok. So he has revitalized his character with Thor. Even though I don't like Thor Ragnarok as much, but he revitalized. Yeah. Everybody will say, even the people that didn't like it, like it's a good comedy, it's funny, but he revitalized.
Yeah, go ahead.
He revitalized his character with that, and then he was interesting in Infinity War, and then Endgame not so much, but Infinity War and Ragnarok, he revitalized his character. And now the Taika Waititi Thor movies is kind of going to be, I think they're going to kind of retcon Thor 1, Thor Dark World. And then those are going to be like the quintessential Thor movies. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like, you could probably
put the hammer down.
Yeah.
And then you found a reason to pick it back up again.
Even though I liked the first Thor movie. I liked the first Thor movie. I do not like Thor Dark World.
A lot of people do.
Which is a funny part in that Deadpool part at the end. He's like, when he's like, Thor Dark World was better. It was like, oh, that was funny. But because he knows it's not true. That's bullshit. But yeah, like he's revitalized his career. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's the OG now. Because Black Widow's gone. Well, I guess Hawkeye. But
yeah.
Damn, I was about to spoil something. But anyways, let's move on. But yeah, like Thor, you know what I mean? But damn, man, I wish you would have finished Black Widow. I'm ready to talk about that shit.
Not ready for premium access on Disney Plus just yet.
Well, I created my premium access.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it. It's gonna happen. It just the 40X almost threw me out of my seat. So I was tired. Of them fighting. I mean, in a way, that's good because Black Widow was a good action movie. Like that was, it was perfect amount of stuff. It was just I felt all of that in my seat during a 40X run. So definitely 40X. Watching that, I should have watched the movie first, and then if I really liked it, I should have done 40X. But
only thing about the movie, it does feel like an apology. It's like we're sorry. We should have gave you this movie sooner.
Two.
They should have made this movie right after Civil War. That's when they should have made it. But it's cool. But I still enjoyed it. But we'll talk about it later when you.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed the movie. It's just some things in it I don't like. I'll just keep it a buck. And it's with the villain. I don't like the villain. The villain, I don't like. So I got something to say about the villain, but I might say that off camera because I don't want to get canceled. So.
All right.
Yeah, but the reveal makes no sense. But whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like. Never mind. Forget it. I'm not gonna say it on camera.
Yeah. That's another time.
I'm not gonna say it on camera, but
the
whole movie. You've been. Never mind. All right. So, yeah, Loki. That's our season review. We went into some speculation about where we think it's going to go. Do your research on Kang, everybody. So when the next time you see Kang, you won't be confused. You know what I mean? Because I know there was a lot of people confused when Thanos popped up in 2012. Like, who the fuck is that purple dude? There's a lot of people that didn't know who the fuck that was. And, everybody's cheering in the theater. Oh! And it was like, who is that? So people probably don't, because he never says his name is Kang at all. He doesn't even say his name. So a lot of people didn't know who it was. It was like, who is this? You know what I mean? So do your research on Kang. Actually, if you watch, what is it? What's that cartoon from Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers series? They got Kang is in that. There's some episodes with Kang. You can watch that, and it can kind of show you his power level, things like that. I think you can watch that on Disney Plus too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna check out Lovecraft and check out this Jonathan Majors guy. I've seen him in other stuff, but I want to see what his acting is about. You know what I mean? So, and then yeah, man, we got Black Widow. I'm gonna try to get that out to y'all once Ryan finishes, and then
It's gonna be tonight for me.
what other movies are coming out? Well, I mean, we can do Tomorrow War. We can do what else did I see recently? Quiet Place 2. I saw Tomorrow War.
I'll have to say that one later too.
What else did I see?
Make a drinking game out of Space Jam.
Oh yeah, Space Jam's coming up. That's soon, man. Is that this week or next week?
Yeah, I think it's the 16th.
Oh, Space Jam. I'm about to rip that shit, boy.
There we go.
Oh.
That's what we can save it for.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like that shit.
But for now,
it's already got a 35%.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
Oh, that came out today. Oh, okay. I might watch that tonight.
That concludes this recording because tomorrow we might rip into Space Jam, y'all.
Yeah. When you gonna watch Space Jam?
BYOB. I was actually, I didn't know it came out today. I was waiting for it to come out. Like I said, I probably was just, I don't know if I might watch it at home.
Yeah,
I am gonna watch it just because that's what I do.
Did he go straight to HBO Max?
I should have checked. I didn't check either.
It says online, watch now, HBO Max. So it might be on there.
That looks like fun. It's gonna be fun whether it's good or bad for me. I'm gonna find out.
It's just funny. There's a title to an article. It says Space Jam 2, a new legacy review, an apocalyptic horror movie.
My favorite was my favorite so far, Space Jam Legacy, a big airball. I was like, God damn. But let's go ahead and wrap this one up, and then we'll do some after.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's our review. Again, my name's Olin,
And I'm Ryan.
and thank you for watching. I know it's been a while, but yeah, like my boy Matthew says, we're the voices of the Marvel Universe now, man. You got to come to us for the good content, the good reviews, man. We're here, but we're gonna try to do this at least once a week, on a better schedule, or just But stay tuned to Instagram. Hey, if you ever see it live, it's us talking about something. So come join the conversation, man. Join the conversation. Have fun with us, man. We're gonna be there. All right. So that's this is our Loki portion, and then the next time you catch us, I don't know. It might be Space Jam. It might be Black Widow. You might do both. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So I don't I don't see us having to talk a lot about Space Jam 2. It shouldn't be that in depth, but for those that care about how it is, so you don't have to pay your money on an app to go watch it. I'd rather save you.
We'll save you the time.
Yeah, we'll watch it, and but yeah. So we got Space Jam, we got that. What If starts in August. We got the What If series review. That's going to be interesting. And then whatever else is coming out. Shang-Chi should be coming out in August too, I believe. The 10 Rings. So we got that coming up. It's going to be a lot of Marvel stuff. It's going to be a lot of, I guess, some movies. But we're going to try to do like some adult movies, like,
We'll keep it diverse.
Yeah, so it's not just like comic book and other stuff. Like, so like we'll do. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let us know if there's a movie you want us to review.
Right.
If Olin won't take a stab at it, I will.
Okay. I mean, I what I'm saying, like I do want to watch Nobody. I just haven't seen it yet. Stuff like that. Like, but like even the Conjuring movie, I haven't watched that yet. You did?
No, I haven't. I said same.
Yeah. So there's still some stuff I plan on seeing. But I watched all the Amazon. I watched Army of the Dead. I watched Tomorrow War. Like I caught those. You know what I'm saying? I even the Michael B. Jordan, Tom Clancy movie. I watched that. You know what I'm saying? So I've been watching movies. We went to the theater to see Quiet Place 2. That was for my first time back in the theater, and God knows when. But we went there and saw it, and I enjoyed it. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but I ain't gonna talk y'all to death. We'll catch y'all. I don't know. You might see us again one day this weekend. I don't know, but we'll coordinate. I'll promote it. I think the next thing you'll see us talking about Space Jam 2 probably. So, yeah. So that's gonna be fun. Yeah. So unless we both magically like it. But anyways, all right. Again, my name's Olin.
I'm Ryan.
All right. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Boom. All right. I'm out of here. I'm about to go eat my dinner.
I gotta go into work, so.
Oh yeah, man. Go ahead, do what you gotta do, bro. All right, bro. I appreciate it, man. Let me know, man, when you whichever one you finish first, Black Widow or Space.
All right, man.
All right.
I'll see you later.